Hello, and welcome to the third of our four-part LEAP training for public librarians, brought to you by the Law Library of Louisiana and the Access to Justice Department of the Louisiana State Bar Association. My name is Sarah Pick, and I am Head of Public Services at the Law Library. LEAP stands for Legal Education and Assistance Program and is a collaborative effort between the Louisiana State Bar Association, the statewide association for all Louisiana lawyers, the Law Library of Louisiana, the state's law library, located in New Orleans but serving the entire state, the Louisiana Library Association, the statewide association for all librarians in Louisiana, as well as other legal aid and legal technology partners. LEAP's goal is to provide training and resources to empower public librarians to serve the legal reference needs of their patrons. In this video, I will provide an overview of reliable and authoritative legal information resources, many of them available for free online, that you can use to assist your patrons with their legal research needs. The first part of this video series discusses Louisiana's access to justice issues. The second provides explanations of law and appropriate legal reference services, including unauthorized practice of law. And the fourth is an in-depth dive into the various low-cost or free services the Louisiana State Bar Association offers or helps facilitate for patrons who need a little more than legal information websites or books and could benefit from speaking with an attorney. I'm going to present these resources quickly. Many of them are online, and you may find yourself wanting to flag the URL to return to later. No need to scramble. You can download a complete list of the resources in this video, as well as other useful resources for you and your patrons at lasc.libguides.com/librarians. A fantastic starter resource for public librarians is Legal Reference for Librarians: How and Where to Find the Answers by Paul Healy, a law librarian. Much of the second part of the LEAP training on legal reference and unauthorized practice of law was adapted from this book. Every public library should own a copy. Turning now to legal research. How to Research a Legal Problem, a Guide for Non-Lawyers, is a publication of the American Association of Law Libraries Legal Information Services to the Public Special Interest section. This resource walks patrons through how to formulate a legal research issue, where to go to find legal information, and what types of resources to consult. It's not comprehensive, but for a 7-page PDF, it is a good starting point for patrons who might feel too overwhelmed by an entire book on legal research techniques. A great book for people representing themselves in court who are trying to understand how to do their own legal research is Legal Research: How to Find and Understand the Law. This is a Nolo Press publication, which most public librarians are familiar with. If you don't own this title in print in your library, you can retrieve an ebook version free online via the state library's databases on Louisiana Library Connection. This and many other NOLO titles are available via the Legal Information Reference Center database. Louisiana Legal Research is another helpful and inexpensive title to own in your public library collection. As the title suggests, the focus is on Louisiana law, but it also includes sources of federal law. Finding and understanding Louisiana-specific law can be tricky, and this book can help a researcher find what they are seeking. Georgetown Law Library provides free online video tutorials on researching specific areas of law. Highlighted here are the tutorials for case law research, statutory research, and strategies for legal research, but any of these tutorials could be useful to your patrons. This is a screenshot of the statutory research tutorial. As you can see, it is broken down into smaller sections so it is easier to absorb. Turning now to primary sources of law. If you've already watched the second part of this 4-part training series, then you know what primary sources of law are. If not, a brief refresher. Primary sources are the actual law, either as passed by a legislature, promulgated by an administrative agency in the executive branch, or a ruling from a court. You can find Louisiana's Constitution on legis.la.gov, where you can either search or browse. You can find the federal U.S. Constitution at the Legal Information Institute. It is also available via the official government website, govinfo.gov, but the user interface at the Legal Information Institute is a bit easier to navigate. Statutes are also available to search or browse on legis.la.gov. When searching, you can select what specific body or bodies of law you want to search, or you can search all of them. When browsing, you will start with the table of contents, then choose which body of law to browse. This is a screenshot of the titles in the revised statutes. As discussed in the second part of this training, the statutes are arranged by topic. Only the current version of the Louisiana statutes are available on legis.la.gov. If you need an older version, contact the Law Library, as we have a complete collection dating back to Louisiana's pre-statehood years. As mentioned before, the Legal Information Institute has a very user-friendly display and includes the U.S. Code, which are the federal statutes. One thing you can find on govinfo.gov that is not on the Legal Information Institute's website are past versions of the U.S. Code. Govinfo.gov includes code versions dating back to 1994. FastCase is a legal research database that provides electronic access to statutes and cases. It is a database available to all Louisiana attorneys as part of their membership in the State Bar Association. The Law Library has negotiated with FastCase to offer free access to the public, though there is one drawback. Everyone is sharing the Law Library's credentials, so nothing is strictly confidential. However, FastCase is a fantastic database, particularly considering it is free for library patrons to use, and they can access it anywhere. It is especially useful for patrons trying to research case law, opinions from appellate courts. One main point to note about FastCase as compared to other premium legal research databases is that it does not have editorial enhancements. That's where a human editor has gone through the case to determine what are the major points of law contained in it, as well as determining if it overruled other cases or noting if another case overruled it. However, it does have an algorithm that notes if a case has been mentioned negatively by other cases. For example, here we see Plessy v. Ferguson, the notorious case that established separate but equal for racial segregation and was later overruled by Brown v. Board of Education. When you click on Report, it then shows you the negative treatment. Notice that even though Brown v. Board of Education was the case that overturned Plessy and ended separate but equal, it does not even show up at the top of the list, as this is an algorithm producing these results, not a human editor. Using the results from the algorithm, a patron must determine for themselves if a case is still good law or not, that is, not overturned on appeal or abrogated by the legislature. They are also welcome to call the Law Library if they are not sure. Similarly, Google Scholar is a free online resource that allows you to search for court opinions or case law. It searches cases from the Louisiana Supreme Court and Louisiana Courts of Appeal from approximately 1950, U.S. Supreme Court cases from 1791, and other federal courts from 1923. It allows you to search by citation or using keywords. But like FastCase, it does not tell you whether a case is still good law. Here you can see that Google suggests how cited as a way to check if Plessy v. Ferguson is still good law. Again, like FastCase, the algorithm does not list Brown v. Board of Education. Both FastCase and Google Scholar are useful tools for case law research, but it's important that patrons understand there are limitations and will require the patrons to be extra diligent in making sure the law they find is still good law. Regulations are promulgated by administrative agencies, which are part of the executive branch. The Louisiana Administrative Code is found on the Division of Administration's website. It is arranged by topic. Each link will take you to a Word download of that particular section of the Louisiana Administrative Code. Thus, there is no way to search the entirety of the Administrative Code at once for free online, but you can use Control-F to search for words in individual titles, or you can call us at the Law Library for help. The U.S. Code of Federal Regulations is available on both the Legal Information Institute's website and on govinfo.gov. Like the federal statutes, The Legal Information Institute's version is easier to use, but only includes the current version. GovInfo.gov has the Code of Federal Regulations dating back to 1996. Municipal codes, which are the local city or town ordinances, are found on MuniCode in Louisiana. It includes the codes from nearly 100 different municipal jurisdictions in Louisiana. Unfortunately, there is no way to search different municipalities at once, but you can browse and search in individual municipal codes to find what you need. You can view both current and, in some cases, past versions of municipal ordinances as well. Many of your patrons may be looking specifically for legal forms. We law librarians at the Law Library of Louisiana have attempted to compile all the known online legal forms from court-approved and/or reliable websites that we know of. This list of forms can be found at lasc.libguides.com/forms. It is also linked to in our guide for self-represented litigants at lasc.libguides.com/SRL. LSU Law Center also has a LibGuide on legal forms with a focus on form books. All of these books are also available at the Law Library of Louisiana. Though we cannot send patrons forms directly, we will happily loan your patron form books via interlibrary loan. As we discussed in the second part of this training series, sometimes when researching the law, it can be easier to start with secondary sources rather than primary sources, though the term secondary sources is misleading. As mentioned earlier, primary sources are the actual law. Secondary sources are explainers of that law, such as dictionaries and encyclopedias, which we turn to next. Black's Law Dictionary is one of the most comprehensive legal dictionaries available. If the cost seems too pricey, you can also get an abridged version for less. However, we recommend you do not search for Black's Legal Dictionary online. If you search online for Black's, you will see several purportedly free versions of Black's. However, these are all the second edition, which is no longer under copyright protection as it is from 1910. That's not to say these websites might not still be useful, but they're quite old and may not contain the most current definition. If you need a definition from Black's and don't have a copy, call us at the Law Library instead, and we will send it to you. The American Bar Association also provides a free online glossary of common legal terms. Cornell Law School houses the Legal Information Institute, a group of collaborators including publishers, legal scholars, computer scientists, government agencies, and other groups and individuals that promote open access to law worldwide. The Legal Information Institute offers one of the few free online legal encyclopedias called WEX. This is a great source for more in-depth explanations of legal topics. You likely are already familiar with LouisianaLawHelp.org, which is covered in more detail in Part 4 of this training series. But you may not know there is a Words You Should Know page that focuses specifically on Louisiana legal terms. The Louisiana State Bar Association similarly provides a page of Louisiana-specific legal terms and procedures. The misspelling in the URL is the correct link. FindLaw also has a legal dictionary, which is from Merriam-Webster, copyright 1996. So it is a little older, but much of it is still relevant. It just may not have more modern concepts such as cyberstalking. The People's Law Dictionary is another good resource, available for free on law.com. It was originally published in print in 2002, but is now available online for free. If you are looking for deeper dives on particular legal topics, we have developed many research guides here at the Law Library of Louisiana, with several of interest specifically to self-represented litigants, including Resources for Self-Represented Litigants, Basics of Legal Research, and Guide to Free Online Legal Resources. We have also translated several of our most popular and most useful guides into Spanish. You can reach the Law Library's Spanish LibGuides by going to lasc.libguides.com/Guías Investigación Biblioteca, or you can start at our Spanish homepage, lasc.libguides.com/Inicio. LEAP has also developed LibGuides on legal topics of interest to the general public. They are written in plain language, but provide the relevant laws on topics such as divorce, public benefits, emancipation, and interdiction. As mentioned earlier, you are probably familiar with LouisianaLawHelp.org. Here you can find information on many legal topics of interest to people representing themselves without an attorney, or just the general curious public. You can learn more about Law Help in Part 4 of this training series. FindLaw, a Thomson Reuters company, which also owns West Publishing and Westlaw, has a Louisiana-specific section with explainers on various topics, including citations to the relevant law. For more advanced patrons, the Louisiana Legal Services and Pro Bono Desk Manual is the best place to start to learn the law on a range of topics of interest to people representing themselves without an attorney. It was written for attorneys who are new to a particular area of law, such as a personal injury lawyer who volunteers pro bono on child custody cases. Because it is written for lawyers, it is only going to be useful to patrons with higher literacy, and they will definitely need a legal dictionary to help them with the legal jargon. Also, it was published in 2013, so though most of the information is still accurate, patrons should double-check that the statutes and cases listed in the book are still good law. That is, they weren't overturned or repealed. You can call the Law Library with any questions about how to determine if a law is still good. Fortunately, an update to the Legal Services and Pro Bono Desk Manual is expected in fall 2023. The manual also includes some pleadings and forms. The manual is currently available both in print and online. However, when the update is published in fall 2023, it will move to an online-only format and will no longer be available in print. This is a screenshot of the current online version. Each chapter is a separate PDF. Also, for more advanced or high literacy patrons, the Law Library offers free access to the LexisNexis Digital Library, which contains thousands of law books, both primary and secondary sources, including 15 Louisiana-specific titles on commonly asked topics such as estates and successions, contracts, and workers' comp. Email library@lasc.org to register a free account for yourself or your patrons. And finally, for those patrons who really do need more than legal information, the Law Library of Louisiana has also compiled a list of free and low-cost legal referrals. In the next part of this training, the free and low-cost services provided by the Louisiana State Bar Association will be covered in detail. Thank you for watching Part 3 of the LEAP training series, Legal Information Resources. Remember, you can find a complete list of all the resources in this video, as well as other useful resources for you and your patrons at lasc.libguides.com/librarians. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us at 504-310-2400 or toll-free in Louisiana at 800-820-3038 or email us at library@lasc.org. Our website is lasc.libguides.com. You can also reach me, Sarah Pick, directly at svpic@lasc.org. Please check out the other videos in this series brought to you by LEAP, Legal Education and Assistance Program.